Welcome to the very first episode of 214 to 321 podcast. I know a lot of people going to be asking me, hey, why did you name it 214 to 321 podcast? It's a long story, and I get into it one day, but not today. What I do want to talk about, and we're going to talk about some other things too, the thing that's going on in the great state of Alabama, and from politics to history to pretty much everything that's wrapped up in that. My wife was telling me, all you're going to be doing is talk about politics. And I love politics. I really do. It's one of my favorite things. Some people don't like to talk about religion and politics. I do. I like to hear different people's perspective on it. Everybody has their own perspective. So we can be talking about politics, and we're going to be talking about religion, because those things that I like to talk about. But one thing I do have to get off my chest, I have a dog. And my dog is 200 years old. All right. Okay, he's not actually 200 years old, but in dog years, he's very old. And I think the dog is going crazy. Serious. I really believe the dog is going nuts. He just barks uncontrollably for no reason. And I'm like, what do you want? We got the dog. By the way, the dog is named Sam. And we got Sam when he was a year old, right when me and Natalie just got married. And I can honestly say, love the dog. He's just getting really, really old. So those who know me, y'all know how long me and Natalie been married. We've been married for quite a long time. And so the dog has gotten older. And the older he gets, I believe the dog is going to senile. And I really think he's freaking crazy. He's don't know where he's going half of the time. He's about blind in the eyes. And, you know, he belongs to a black family. So you just imagine how many times he's gone to the vet. Like when I was growing up, dog go out there and eat some grass. But, you know, this dog is very pampered. He don't like going outside too long. So just had to get that off my chest about the dog going crazy. So, but let's get into it. The very first podcast that I was going to put out, I kind of went on about politics, Alabama politics. And so with that being said, I was going on about Tuberville running for governor of the state of Alabama. Now, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I'm pretty much in the middle, but I do lean more Democratic Party than Republican. I live in the state of Alabama, so you can kind of see why. But one day I was sitting at home, and it was in the morning time, and watching the news, and everything that came on the news were people who were running for the primary. And on the Republican side, I heard a lot of what they was gonna do to help Donald Trump. I really did not hear that much about people doing anything for the state of Alabama. It was more what was going to do or help Donald Trump. And it got irritating as crap. I'm like, yo, when is anybody going to say what you're going to do for the people of Alabama? It's Alabama. You live in Alabama. So I'm assuming they might have some policies that might affect people of Alabama, but I don't think it's going to be basically in the city of Birmingham or Montgomery or Mobile. Basically probably going to be some places out in the rural area or where people got money. Because if you really look at it, most of the people who run the state of Alabama have money. I don't see any poor people. It costs a lot of money just to run in politics anyway. But with that being said, Tuberville. They just had I was reading the news on Washington Post and also AL.com, and also doing my own research. And they had the housing bill. And those who don't know, Katie Britt and Tuberville are our only two senators here in the state of Alabama. And both of them voted down on the housing bill. Now, those who don't know about the housing bill, it's a bill that was going to help people to become first-time homeowners, and also is going to eliminate a lot of companies buying up homes and either renting them or just overpricing them where people can't really afford them. So basically, it's just a lot of rental property. And that's a whole nother tangent that I will get on one day on another episode. But it was 5 senators that voted down the bill. So it was like, and it's crazy that people who have money dictate to those who don't have money on what they can and cannot do. And they basically voted no. To me, this is just my belief and my opinion. Remember, everything I say is my opinion. And some stuff you can't go and look up. You can literally go look up the housing bill. But they voted no on the housing bill. And then Trump pretty much says he's not going to pass any legislating unless he get this voting bill passed, which to me, it has no merit. Why do you need another voting bill? The Supreme Court already gutted the civil rights bill, voting civil rights bill to death. So why do we need another voting bill? But if you don't know anything about what's in the voting bill, it's pretty much like this. You got to show a birth certificate or a passport to show that you are a U.S. citizen of the United States. So I guess skip that. Before you had to have an ID, a state issue ID. That's not enough. I even went and voted because I thought I had my ID on me when I went to go vote a couple weeks ago, and I didn't have it on me. I took it out and left it at home, but I did have my gun permit ID, which is crazy. I was able to vote with my gun permit. So if I can vote with a gun permit, now I gotta bring a birth certificate, and you wonder why a lot of people, and it's basically what it is, they're just trying to discourage more people to come out and vote. Like, a lot of people don't vote as it is. I hear more people complaining about what's going on, but I don't see any people doing anything that actually to try to help the situation. But like I say, that's just my opinion. It's just me rambling on. So, but it's just a lot of things that's going on in the state of Alabama, that a lot of laws that's gonna be on the books. And I don't think people really understand that laws that affect us in this state is enacted quicker than what's going on in the federal government. I tell people, stop worrying about what's going on in Washington. Now, you do need to worry, but remember, the things that goes in the state affects us citizens more. Like people who you put on the city council, people you put on the school boards. Those individuals affect what's going on with your kids, what's going on in your city or your town. Those are quicker to be implemented than things at the federal level. So you have to understand that it's very important that you vote, because every vote does count. There's no electoral college. There's no electoral college in the governor or the Senate or House of Representatives, the state House of Representatives. There's no electoral college. So every vote counts. So every vote that you cast, it counts. Even if it be 10 votes to 20,000 votes to 300 votes. Every one of those votes counts towards who's going to win that certain election. I guess one thing I have now about elections are I'm seeing a lot of people get in office and they are not living up what they said they were going to do when they was campaigning. I see a lot of people getting into office and basically, I guess once you get behind that chair, you pretty much disregard the things that people ask you to do when you got into office. And I think that's really crazy. And then also when it comes to freedom of speech, I feel like a lot of people are very fearful of even saying anything because they're afraid that people are either gonna try to attack you about your job or they just gonna. Now, I'm up for a healthy debate. I'm not always right. What my wife tell me, I'm probably 45% right. But when I get that 30% right, I'm very happy, even though she says that I'm 25% right. But I do know that I will listen to you. So if you running for office or you're a politician, don't just listen to what people are telling you. Take that to your account when you decide to make certain decisions on people's lives. So that's just my take on it. But I know there's a lot of things going on in the world, but sometimes we have to keep our eye on the ball on what's going on here in this great state of Alabama. So that's my two takes on it. So please support this podcast. I'm going to be putting out a lot more episodes, different podcasts from different individuals. And so we're going to, first episode, thank you for listening. Have a good one. I'm out.